Okay guys, today I'm going to do a quick little tutorial and I'm going to show you how to waterproof your receiver for your, it doesn't matter, in this case it's going to be for our G6. This is a stock Axial AR3 receiver, and you can do this with just about any receiver. This is how I do a lot of my latest electronics as far as waterproofing them, is 2-part epoxy. You don't have to buy in this quantity. I buy in this quantity because I do a lot of different electronics this way and waterproofing them. You can just buy the small little tube that is like, I don't know, $5-10, something like that. Comes in a tube, you push the things out and they come out evenly or whatever. But like I said, I buy the big tubes here. This is a little more expensive, and that way I pre-mix them myself and go that route. So anyways, I'm going to show you how to do this. It's pretty easy. This works for everything from servos, the electronics and the servos, to, like I said, your receivers here, even your ESCs. So in this video tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to waterproof your receiver here. So a lot of these just simply pop apart, you know, with a screwdriver or whatever. And this one, it's got a couple little screws we got to pop out before we can do the job. So we'll do that real quick. Boom, just like that. Okay, so the big part of this that has to be waterproofed, well, in most cases when you're dealing with anything with any electronics, sometimes on your circuit boards you'll look at them and you'll see that most of your stuff will be on one side and the other side will just have all your, especially like in a servo for instance, it'll have all your solder points and the other side will have all your circuitry on it with your diodes and things like that. Those are the parts that need to be waterproofed. Okay, because a lot of times you can't get at the other side, and that's alright. In this case, we have to do both sides of this. If we don't, you run the risk of shorts on any side of this. So, number one biggest thing you need to do before you even attempt to do this, because when we use this 2-part epoxy, we're going to seal up everything. So that includes our bind button. I only do that just because I don't like to run the risk of that potentially being my short. So make sure you bind it to your receiver or to your transmitter that you're going to end up using. In this case, we already have it bound, so we're set up, and I'm planning on running it to that. So if this thing ever burns up, well, we'll get a different one and we'll set it up for that. So but we should be good. And it's like I've said before, remember, electronics and water, you always run a risk of shorting it out anytime you play with the two. So it's just the risk you're going to take. But this is what I do. This is how I make it work. So far, it's been working. So doing this 2-part epoxy on this, we're going to coat both sides of this. We're going to do the bottom side first, so we can just lay it down into our tray, and then we'll get the, and then we'll do the top side real quick, and then we'll put that together, and we'll get our screws put together, and we'll be ready to, this thing will be dry pretty dang quick and we'll be good to go. I'm going to, well, And see, this already has little plastic spacers on it. I'm just gonna quick tape this off real quick, just for the sake of potentially getting any type of epoxy on our leads here. We don't want that, so I'm gonna quick tape them off just to prevent it. Chances are I don't think we will, but this will preventative measure. So let's do that real quick. Okay, now we've got our leads taped off, so we're good to go. We're going to go ahead and we'll mix up some epoxy and we'll get this bad boy epoxied. So one question I know I've been asked before: how crucial is it to get an epoxy down in between here where these leads are? It's not necessary. It's not a point where you're going to end up with a potential of a short or anything like that, because that's not where your shorts are going to occur. They're going to occur on all of this electronic pieces here, you know, little diodes, things like that. One of the most common spots I've seen shorts occur are these little tiny pieces right in here. So I've seen a few occur on some of these chips, but most of them occur. I've seen them on these little diodes or whatever. So just one of those things. So we'll get everything coated and it'll be ready to go. So let's go ahead and let's do that, and that way you can see how I do them. And yes, I've plastic dipped them. I've used liquid electric tape. I use a lot of different techniques to waterproof stuff. To be honest, so far I've been impressed doing it this way. It works really good. So it's always good to have a nice little platform to mix up, something to mix up. Yeah, it's a broken plastic. Actually, this was a fork. It's what I had it saved from a prior mix up, so I figured why not use it. So one thing to always make sure to do, that you do it in a warm environment, and make sure that these are nice and warm so they are good to go. Make sure you do equal amounts, and we'll mix those up here. Okay, let's go ahead and let's get this mixed up. Won't take very long because it's literally 5-minute epoxy. It does set up literally that fast. Okay, what I'm going to do, let's try to get this in here so you guys can see. So I'm just going to coat this bottom side real quick. No, I probably don't need to worry about those prongs there, like I said, but it's the bottom side, and I just want to quick get it all coated. So all I'm doing is I'm just scooping this on there just to make it kind of fill in real nice and easy. Okay, that side's done. Let's set this into our tray here. Boom. Okay, time to do this front side. Scrape that up. Yeah, it looks like we might have a little extra when we're done, but it's alright. Grab a little too much, then not enough. Let's put it that way. there. We're gonna put it right over our bind button, get it coated. Just go around the edge of that. I'll go around the edge of that little silver box there. Not sure what all the electronics are. Not an electronics guy. I am to a point, but no, I don't know what all the names of all the diodes and all the junk is. So, okay, we have everything coated. Go around that box completely. Don't really need to go on the top of it, but I did. Boom. Looks good. We're good. We're coated. I feel confident with that. Yeah, there are air bubbles in it, but I'll tell you, you don't have to worry. Okay, what I'm gonna do, here comes the fun, tricky part. I'm just gonna use my tool to kind of hold that down for a minute, pop that off. Hopefully I didn't get too much on that. Close that up. Little excess glue or a little excess epoxy leaked out, but that's all right. And I'm gonna quick throw these screws in while it's still a little wet. Be a little cautious the way you hold it, because otherwise you'll run the liquid right on out the side where you need to put your leads at, and you don't want to do that because it's still liquid, still floating around in there. But we want to get these screws in real quick before it sets up, because we do have everything kind of covered in there. Okay, we're snapped shut. We look good. Okay, now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to let that set up, and literally, I mean, we can test out here in just a minute. It's actually tacking up pretty quick, you can see just on this. So we're getting there real quick. You can already see it starting to tack up, so we're probably looking pretty good. So feel pretty confident here in a few minutes. I could actually dip it in water and test it out and make sure it actually runs. And shoot, maybe I'll do that for you in this truck. I'll put it in some cup of water real quick and I'll show you that it'll still work. So give it a minute here and we'll let that set up and I'll show you. We'll give you a live demonstration. How about that? Okay guys, well, it looks like it's set up pretty good, I think. I mean, it's still a little soft and pliable, but it's not hard, but it'll harden up even harder over time. But for our experiment purposes, we should be good. Got my water, got a receiver. Here's our truck. Let's pull off our top here so I can show you and demonstrate. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this. And I'm sure everybody's gonna go, holy smokes. But I just want to show you guys. Make sure I hook those up right. Hopefully I did. Feel silly if I didn't. Okay. Let's turn that on. Oh, turn this on first. Okay. Okay, we're on. Okay, everything's on. See? So everything's working. Okay, here we go. In the water. Dunk. There, I'll put it in the water for you. You can see the little red lights on in there. steering's working. So yeah, it's not in the water for a long period of time, but it's running. It was in the water, so just showing you that it does work. So anyways, that is waterproofed, and that's how I do it. So that's how you can waterproof your receiver with 2-part epoxy for your G6 or any SEX10 or any of your radio controlled vehicles that you might want to waterproof a receiver for. So have fun and enjoy, and get out and enjoy the RCs, right? So anyways, but make sure to hit that like button for us. We really appreciate that, and definitely hit the subscribe button, and we'll continue finishing this build here, and we'll show you more coming up here real soon. So thanks again for following along.